Hey guys, had some free time, so I thought I would continue and do part 2 of my collection overview, shelf by shelf. So moving on to the second shelf. First up, we have An American Haunting, the unrated edition. Have not watched this, so if you guys have seen it, please let me know what you think. As always, just feel free to comment below and tell me your opinions on this. Next, American History X. I know a lot of people have seen this one, so I won't go into great detail about it. Great cast though, stars Edward Norton and Edward Furlong as brothers. Fairuza Balk plays in this as well. And I know a lot of people remember the curb stomping scene in this. Next, American Nightmare. A nice original slasher movie. Takes place on Halloween night. Basically a radio host is asking people to call in and share their deepest fears with them. And then one by one they're getting killed off, slasher movie style. Pretty cool premise. Really enjoyed this one. I know this recently went out of print, so I'm glad to have it in the collection. It's one that not a lot of people talk about. Next, a movie that pretty much everybody knows, American Pie. This is the ultimate edition of the theatrical version of the film. 2-disc set. And also the ultimate edition 2-disc set of the unrated version of American Pie. Love the American Pie films. Next, the franchise collection, American Pie 3-movie pie pack. It contains all 3 films, the unrated versions of each, American Pie, American Pie 2, and American Wedding. I also just recently picked up the sock edition. The limited edition basically comes with the same exact discs that are contained in here, but they're in a keep case, and it comes with the limited edition sock, over it. I actually have that in a different shelf next to my 30 Days of Night winter cap set and my Hancock winter cap set. Next, American Psycho. This is the theatrical version, Lionsgate release. And we have the unrated version of American Psycho. This was put out by Universal before Lionsgate had bought rights to the film. This Universal release is pretty hard to come by now. Next, another film that pretty much everybody has seen, An American Werewolf in London. Classic film. And then, of course, An American Werewolf in Paris. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I actually really enjoy it. I think it's pretty entertaining and just a fun film, so I don't know really why it gets as much hate as it does. Next, Americano. Another film that a lot of people really don't know about or talk about. It stars Joshua Jackson, Dennis Hopper. I basically picked this up. It got this really cheap when a rental store was going out of business near me, probably a couple of years ago now. Basically because it stars Joshua Jackson. Again, stars in my favorite show of all time, Dawson's Creek. So, pretty much get everything with the cast in it. Next, Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes. This is actually my favorite Amityville horror sequel. I just remember watching this one a lot growing up. Always remember the scene of the guy putting his hand in the garbage disposal and it goes on by itself. Classic scene. Always remember that one. And then Amityville 4: The Evil Escapes with an alternate cover art. I believe both of these are out of print now, but still fairly readily available online. Then we have the Amityville Horror remake, starring Ryan Reynolds. I thought this was really good. One of the better remakes in my opinion. Next, Amusement. Now I showed this in another video before. I mentioned how it's one of those cases where the cover art is probably better than the film itself, but still enjoyed the film for what it was. We have Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. I actually enjoyed this one more than the original Anaconda. This one features a lot more anacondas in it, and just really like the cast in this one. Next is a double feature of Analyze This and Analyze That. 2 comedy classics, starring Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro, of course. A lot of similarities to The Sopranos. Next, a Will Ferrell comedy, Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Sequel should be coming out pretty soon. I know it's in the works. And we have Angel Heart. This is the original Artisan DVD release. Pretty hard to come by now. Pretty hard to find. And then the special edition of Angel Heart, put out by Lionsgate. Anger Management, starring Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson, of course. Also stars Marissa Tomei. This next one, I have no idea really what it is. I just found it at a garage sale one day for about 50 cents or something like that, maybe even a quarter, and just thought I'd buy it just for the heck of it to add it to the collection. And it's Another State of Mind. And we have The Ant Bully. It's another one of my son's DVDs from when he was younger. Now he's more into horror films like me, which I've mentioned before. And we have The Antichrist, Anchor Bay DVD release. And then, not to be confused with that film that I just showed, Antichrist. This is the Lars von Trier film, starring Willem Dafoe. I actually just watched this recently and really enjoyed it. This is the Criterion Collection release of the uncut version of the film. I really would like to have a discussion about this with more of you guys, so if you guys have seen this, please comment below or private message me or whatever. And let's talk about this movie. It's one of those movies you really have to think about, kind of come up with your own interpretations of what's going on. So I'd really like to hear more people's opinions about this. So as I said, please comment below or PM me or whatever about this, and I'd really like to discuss this film more. Next, April Fool's Day, the original Paramount release with the original cover art. And then the Paramount re-release of April Fool's Day with the alternate cover art. We have Apt Pupil, which is a pretty twisted film based on a Stephen King story. That was Brad Renfro. We have Arachnophobia, such a fun movie. Next, a Full Moon film, and that's Arcade. Really like this one. Stars Peter Billingsley of A Christmas Story. Then we have The Archies and Jugman and Dennis the Menace Cruise Control. It's a double feature of movie tunes. I had picked this up because back when I got in this, Dennis the Menace was not available on DVD at all. I really love the Dennis the Menace cartoon. This was really the only thing I could find on it, so I had picked it up. I believe I got it for like $1.99 too when I got this, so it's a pretty good deal. I now own the Dennis the Menace cartoon series in an unofficial DVD release, so happy to have that. Next we have Army of Darkness. This is the theatrical version, Anchor Bay release. And we have the Anchor Bay release of the director's cut of Army of Darkness, limited edition. Then Bruce Campbell vs. Army of Darkness, the director's cut, official bootleg edition. And finally for this shelf, the limited edition of Army of Darkness containing both the theatrical version and the director's cut, also put out by Anchor Bay. So that is the second shelf in my overview collection. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please comment below. Let me know what you guys think of that. And I'll have the third part to this series up pretty soon probably. I have some more free time, so I might film that a little bit later today. So comment below, guys. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.